So we're getting up into Hanji. Hearing her give the command to Armin and then hearing Levi say, give your heart. I was like already breaking down. Like I couldn't handle it. Hanji, I hate that she died, but she went out in one of the coolest motherfucking ways that we would not be on the plane without Hanji. Like she saved everyone. And Flock died.
I think like they honestly, dialogue-wise, energy of her departure was perfect for her character. The way that she was like, Levi, don't blow this really cool moment for me. Like, I just had the like most awesome exit ever, the most badass exit ever. Let me have this. And he's just like, he like supports her in that, and she's smiling. Like, and the fact of like how excited she is when she jumps up in the air and she sees like basically her life work, her life passion all in front of her. Like, it in the saddest way, they did Hanji really good with this exit.
Oh, yeah.
In the most heart-wrenching possible way, they did her right by this exit.
I was in the moment when the first time that Levi referred to Hanji as Four Eyes, I was like, oh, Hanji's gonna quit back and call you One Eye, like, because like the injury. But then I was like,
both of them.
But then I was like, wait, Levi shows respect to Hanji by calling her Four Eyes still after she lost an eye.
I know.
So I was
doesn't
like,
call her Three Eyes.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, that's just awesome. I love it. I love every aspect of the show. You know what? The dialogue, they killed it. Like, this reminded me of season 1 dialogue. You know what I mean? Like,
we've said it's like one of our favorite parts of Attack on Titan is word choice of people. Like when Anya Capone was like, I'm going to deliver you. I was like, deliver! I don't know why that felt so good.
I'm glad that Hanji got to spaz. Obviously, these aren't like abnormal, like crazy, whatever. But
it was like Levi back when we were doing the charge perfect game against the Beast Titan and his ring of Titans.
It was so good. I'm just so glad that we got to see what she's made of, because at the end of the day, she was one of the first people we ever saw on the Scouts, right? Mm-hmm. She was picked for a reason. She's extremely skilled. She's still alive, or was, for a reason. And I love her.
I love that you just said that, because think of how she was when she got done speaking to Eren when he was in the jail cell, and she witnessed him being like, fight. And then she exits there and immediately like crumbles onto the ground, and she was like, Erwin, I don't know, like I was not like right for this. And she's doubting herself. And I'm like, there is no doubt in this Hanji.
I think Hanji might be my favorite character, like, in this series, or one of the top 3, 5.
Definitely.
I don't know. Her, like, it's so consistent, and it's so well done. It's not, like, the deepest shit, but it's, like, amazing.
I think she, is pretty easy to understand. She's easy to enjoy and like, because I think that she is easy to understand in a similar but still different way that Sasha was really lovable. There was like an easiness to like want to befriend this person and understand them as a viewer. I think that they're slightly similar in that way.
The animation, I think you did a great service by bringing up the Levi fight with the Oranga Titan, because the camera worked in a very similar way of moving with Hanji, and you're able to feel the actual scale and direction and where you are, which is extremely difficult to convey in animation when it comes to a massive scale, and it's changing. That's why a lot of animes have fights in empty wastelands, right? But it was beautiful. It was so good.
And there was also strategy to it that was appreciated.
Yeah.
It wasn't just blind swinging and hack and slash enjoyment and thrill.
Yeah.
It was strategy. There was the creating the trampling, knocking them in the legs, like bringing you back to season 1. How do you train a scout to take down a Titan? When it's so cool to I think it's so cool to see that, because we're so far removed from being taught how to take down Titans because of what has transpired over the last couple seasons, that it's like, yeah, we thought that was the issue. We thought that was the enemy. Those were the skill sets we were taught then, but now we have thunder spears and we're fighting humans. And she, in her glory, brought us back to the strategy and like technique and tactic of taking down Titans.
It was beautiful. I think my favorite part, which is kind of weird, was her dodging the rubble, like in the air. Like it's like, okay, you're directing this episode. You don't fucking need to do this. You've already shown her like kick ass a bunch, kill a bunch of fucking the biggest Titans that we've seen, and then you just include like a good 10-second shot of her dodging all of the rubble that is being thrown up at her, and then go back into, oh my god,
like I'm surprised by that rubble that it doesn't even graze her. You don't even get a shot of her being like blown back for a second but then not getting like deterred and like continuing to move forward. It's like she's just so graceful and amazing and badass in this moment that she goes out in blazing glory.
I can't believe like how quick it was. I wonder how many frames there were even in that. Look, every frame that I go on is completely different, right?
I felt like that whole scene was 5 seconds and 20 minutes at the same time.
Yeah, I completely agree. Without Hanji, we don't fucking get out of here. And Flock died.
Oh yeah, and Flock died. That was a thing that happened.
We don't know how Anyan Capone's doing, right?
I got really nervous about his survival.
I will leave my thoughts regarding Flock up in the air until we see if Anyan Capone is dead because they could only fill the plane halfway because Flock shot the fuel tanks.
Yeah,
that is going to play a big factor.
Reserve judgment.
Yeah, I'm going to reserve my Flock judgment. I love Flock as a character, dude. I love him to death.
Necessary, amazing.
We have like to feel the type of emotions that you feel towards Flock, bad or good. You have to have strong character writing to be able to feel that way about him.
Yep. And for him to feel so necessary, like he fills a really necessary spot in this narrative, and he's the one person that fills this spot, basically. Like, on this side, we have this whole squad that is filling this spot. Flock is like a one man filling this spot. They already, before, getting onto the ship, killed everyone else, basically. And Flock is like last man standing.
Yeah.
He filled that spot. He filled a very necessary spot in the narrative, and he filled it really well. He made a very big presence and a big impact in his role, his job description.
Seeing Flock, seeing Hanji first of all, be a fidget spinner like Levi, great, love it, and then seeing her just being on fire. What do you think's the blur effect? Do you think it's heat? Or do you think it's like
I like to think that it's heat because that's what I would use to show heat, and like this a sense of glare.
Yeah.
And a sense of movement is that blur. Because then it turns into steam almost, like you can almost feel that it's so hot because they're creating that blur.
God.
Jean almost didn't make it on the airship.
Seeing Hanji burn up is fucking heartbreaking, dude.
But what hit me was like, I mean, I think it obviously like hit me right when she was, burning, but then like what like even like sent it over the edge was just the drop. Before
the drop, we got to see her on fire and
on
then
fire and still
her point of view while she's on fire. Going after the Titan. This is what I fucking love about the show, right? Like, season 4 animation has changed, obviously, because it's a different studio. But one thing that has never been lost in this show, regardless of what episode we are on, is the creativity of the shots. Like, it's just the flourish, right? Like, it's the extra mile.
I mean, you gotta have it with such great character writing. I mean, if you don't skimp on your character writing and all your characters are a chef's kiss and their dialogue is a chef's kiss, then come on, when you create the visuals and the composition of each shot, it also has to like stand up to that and showcase them.
Is the animation Demon Slayer season 2 episode 17? No, but it is fucking it holds a fucking Olympic torch in a room that no other anime has even lit a match to me, because it's
so I like your fire puns in there.
Was
that on
fuck,
purpose?
She's on fire. Oh, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry.
That's something I would have done on purpose.
Yeah, god damn
And you would have given me like a look like...
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I absolutely love it. I hate so much that Hanji's dead, but oh my god, what a way to...
It might be my favorite death in like a cinematic way. I don't know, like Erwin's was like really great, but
Armin's
initial death was great, but this, like, I think this has surpassed them, especially with what they do right after it, where they like fake you out for a second. But then I was like, oh, but she's not burned. And then it's like fucking heaven on top of like all these footprints. It's almost like, oh, look, peace on earth after the rumbling.
And can I like really like break down? Here's a good way to put it.
Is that supposed to be Moblet that helps her up? I think his hair's a little darker.
Yes, but if you had to clip one piece of visual or audio of me ever to express my feelings and gratitude and appreciation for Attack on Titan.
Oh my god, I know what you're about to say.
It is that in season 4, part 3, part 1, when Hanji is seeing all the loved ones, all of the people who have died for this cause, all of the potential even commanders of the scouts. We do not forget about Shallot. Shallot is here! He is here and he is not forgotten. Sure, it wasn't Shallot still alive earlier in season 4. I'm okay with that now because Attack on Titan didn't forget and neither did I. Shallot,
no, they definitely were like, ooh, you know, we showed like a horse dying earlier in this episode. Maybe we should make everyone happy again by showing Shallot.
It's like, oh, fuck, you got Erwin, you got Pixis, you got all these people, but then you got Shallot. Oh my god, dude, the show is so good. Right before chapter 2 starts.
I had like a little headcanon. There was like a scout in the actual, like without the like cape, in the corner of that really far out shot of all of them, and it was a blonde guy, and it wasn't Erwin. And I'm gonna go Thomas.
I like it.
Like right up there. You see like right up there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Thomas.
I like it.
And then up there, Petra.
But Shallot. He's looking great.
That's the boyfriend and girlfriend.
I like how you can see like the scorch mark still of where Hanji's body was before she stood up. God, come on, dude. Like, that's just... Okay.
Is this what the moon looks like?
I don't know.
I've never been.
There's more places to cast footprints. Okay, part 1 done, right? On to part 2. Chapter 2.
Can you just imagine being an archaeologist after this and like the earth kind of like regrows and like reclaims and grass starts growing?
Biblical, bro.
Oh my gosh.
That's a really good point, though.
This has changed the landscape.
Yeah. I mean, it could, maybe Aaron's entire goal here is to try to build a world or cultivate a world full of successful crops and, you know, really focus on the farming industry in this world. And he's trying to just flatten out the land, you know?
Yeah.
Could be.
He's a farmer.
I do wonder how grass would grow back, you know, slightly elevated in some positions.
Yeah. I think it'd look cool.
Yeah. It's like a henge. So... just a seamless transition with Connie reflecting on everything that has happened in season 4 especially, right? Talking to Reiner.
Ooh, yeah.
Do you think that Connie could live with it? Like, we've seen Reiner struggling to live with it. Eren is currently trying to. Do you think Connie could live with what he's done? Okay.
I really like this question. I'm going to go with the word solidarity. I'm going to go with the word because I feel like Reiner was given a sense of hope and or a feeling of security when Eren said that line all that time ago about being the same as Reiner. And there was almost like a breath of like someone understands me, of validation that someone understands you. You're not alone. You don't have to shoulder this alone. That kind of theme. Thank you, Mikasa. And I think that the looks on Connie and Reiner's faces that were happening after Connie speaks his mind, Reiner kind of agrees. They come to this agreement. Jean even pipes up. I think from that conversation of everyone in that plane, it was like, we're never going to forgive ourselves. But You know, like, that's just gonna be a thing. But we
Yeah.
all are in this boat. We all are the same. Jean looks at Reiner. I think we're the same as you.
Mhm.
And I think there's some amount of, like, peace you almost see on these crying faces
Yeah.
in this conversation. That,
It's like trying to find
I'm not
solace.
alone in this. And it's like takes you back to, like, the idea when we talk about what is Eren doing? Is he just, like, trying to go through hell and shoulder this all himself so that no one else has to carry the burden? But all of them here are having this conversation where, hey, we're all carrying this burden. We've all done horrible things, killed people to save other people. And then when we get to Eren to have this conversation, Armin says a line to the effect of, like, Eren, we've done the same thing as you. So that's why my word solidarity is kind of what I'm going to go with on if Connie is going to be able to live with himself if he does survive whatever transpires after this episode.
It's that whole scene was like so it was almost uncomfortable, like because you're trying to find something to latch onto to find that peace with them, to find that, oh, it's justified, everything's okay, everything's gonna be okay. But I think that what they're doing is what Reiner says. We got to do what we can. Like, it's not easy, right? You're just doing what you can here, and that's it. And it's defeating, but it's what we have left. You know?
Yeah. It leaves you in a very, like, empty, like, maybe like a half. Maybe I think that the feeling I could possibly say is that kind of glass half empty, glass half full kind of thing. Like, you could either look at it either way. And but they're all kind of empty now. And it's like, you know, how do they handle being forever empty? Like, you're never going to be able to really forgive yourself for this.
Yeah.
So how do you continue on in your life? That's what's important, is the moving forward Eren line.
God. We're going to discuss that there's no reason for discussing.
That might be one of my favorite lines. I mean, it does not beat the Reiner and Berthold reveal on the wall to Eren. I still want that framed. I still haven't gotten it framed, but I still want it framed. But I do like that line. I found it really, like a nice, like, comedic, but oh wait, I need to take this serious.
Like, the whole idea of them being able to talk there forever with no real time passing, seemingly.
Yeah, is Armin the one that said that?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I think he did say that as he was running toward Eren.
Take for as long in this world, right? Talk for as long as we want in this world. And I was like, can you just, like, live out your entire lives in here? Like, really get to know Ymir.
We know that Zeke faked us out. You know, I faked Eren out, really, and us, by, you know, the beard and the, oh, look at these shackles, I've been here for so long. And
I wonder if Eren has the ability to hear conversations or has the ability to know what people are thinking, too. Like, the whole idea of him being able to listen in. Like, the thought...
Is it specifically because it's an animal?
Well, in this case, it wasn't, right? Like, on the ship or on the plane.
There could be a bug or a rat.
I don't think
or a bat.
Maybe
or something.
I don't know. Maybe it's interesting though, because, like, what was Eren listening in that whole conversation with Armin and Annie, and we were just sitting there being like, yeah. You guys flirt.
He was, like, just watching this with some popcorn.
I've given you this freedom. Yeah. Use it.
And then when, like, everyone's, like, shocked and surprised, like, did you know about this? And Eren's like, yeah, I knew it since season 1.
I can't believe he called him there. If there's one thing I did not expect, it was to be back in this world, seeing Kid Eren and Kid Ymir staring at our gang. You know?
So unsettling. I would say a lot of the times that we're brought into this plane, it's comes with a very unsettling feeling and imagery. The way that people are drawn, the kind of gaunt, like you know, darkness over the eyes, the sketchy lines over the eyes.
You know what I still haven't gotten over?
What?
In fucking towards the end of season 4, when we had the quick succession of visions when Eren's head met Zeke's, we got the flash, like, it looked like from the future 2 people or 3 people we had never seen before. Does that allude to there being time after this story is over and a future of other people who have Titan powers and stuff? And if that's the case, like that opens up a different can of worms, you know?
Yeah, I have no clue. I feel like a can of worms could totally be opened. I just don't know which one.
Yeah.
And how many worms, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I just feel so...
I have a few more things that I've written down that I want to talk about. The Hizuru.
Yes.
She had great lines
Mm-hmm.
towards the end of the conversation with Annie.
Yes.
I'm trying to fast forward to it. Yeah. Why must we experience loss
Before we realize.
before we can realize
Teardrop.
how to respect and value others without putting ourselves first? I really, really like that line, because it's not, it's something that you can't fix, right? For as much as you'd want to help the future of your world be able to have that ability to realize things before you lose other things, writing enough will never do. It is that experience that puts you in a different place.
Yeah.
And I think the realization of everybody having that in different ways is like, it's almost the most defeating part of the whole thing, because in a way they come to a realization that is satisfying to a viewer and makes you glad to hear, but just knowing that will consistently be a never-ending cycle for the rest of time.
Not if you're Eren. He's trying to avoid that.
But that only lasts for how long? Like, it's only a matter of time. It's kind of like, think about what the same character said to Flock. Like, if I could find the note of it, like a few episodes ago, when it was like, isn't it just a matter of time before, like, this happens in your world too? You know what I'm referring to?
Oh, yeah, she says that. Kiyomi says that to him when she is in the chair.
Yeah.
And before Mikasa comes in and saves her. Yeah, she brings up to him that the infighting, human nature that we have been hearing since, like, Yuri and, like, a bunch of other characters have kind of said things along the lines of
the world will shrink. That's
the world
all.
will shrink, that's all.
And
the
it's
inevitable, I mean, think about that mural on the ceiling.
Yeah. God, it's so good. They're really good at like remembering all the pieces that they have on the board and like the history of them. It's like
I feel like if I had written this, I would have probably forgotten some things.
Yeah. All of the family members being alive on Marley is ridiculously convenient, but it's fun. You know, it's an anime. It's fun. I'm okay with it.
You're okay with it?
I
mean,
guess.
I was happy about it upon seeing it, but once you brought it up into a discussion space, then I started thinking about it as, is that satisfying to me? Does it feel like too...
Yeah.
Yay! Annie's dad is alive!
It depends what they do with it, right?
It depends what they do with it. I mean, it was fulfilling in a sense, because what do we get? We get all of the parents hearing that amazing speech, and suddenly they're crying and realizing that they weren't good parents or parental figures to their children, and they sent their children off to do these horrible things that, for their own, like, selfish wanting to be self-righteous. This line. This is an Eren line from the very, very beginning of the episode. Who do I think I am? I have no business acting as a self-righteous person.
Yeah.
So I think that they made it satisfying to me to have the parents all be alive, because they got to kind of regret. They got to be brought to the same place that Kiyomi was brought to in her conversation with Annie, like earlier in the episode.
Anyan Capone flying the plane, love it. He's amazing. One of my favorite characters.
Yes.
But
you did bring up, like, him not getting to say anything to Hanji.
He acknowledged what Hanji did.
Yeah.
And he's trying to do the same in a way.
He better not die in trying to do the same.
If he gets to be with Shallot and Hanji in the end, I'm fine with it. He's never even gotten the privilege of meeting him.
That should have been the love connection. I mean, I like Army.
Army.
Arnie?
Arnie?
I kind of like Arnie.
Do you think that Zeke is in the nape of the orangutan?
That's a really great question. Where is Zeke? Where is Eren keeping Zeke's body?
In my mind, no, because he has to be touching Eren, and I don't think the Warhammer connecting it would be enough.
They're just like holding hands.
I think so.
But they're not in the nape of the neck.
Yes.
They're somewhere else.
Yeah, but just seeing like this grayed out orangutan, I was like, holy shit.
I mean,
it also makes me worried for the inevitable fight between the orangutan and Levi, because it's not. Is it the orangutan?
Okay.
Like,
no, I think it's a Warhammer weapon. I think
yeah.
Eren chose to create, which you probably knew, and you were probably just asking that as like a rhetorical question. I apologize for jumping on it.
No, you're good.
But I think that you just brought up Levi entering into this scenario with us seeing a Warhammer version of the Beast Titan, and I raise you another element that hasn't entered into the narrative quite yet, but probably will at the beginning of next episode or next part or whatever it is, and that is that we kind of got talk of, Falco ingested some of Zeke's spinal fluid.
Yeah.
And so we get maybe a Beast Titan influenced Titan versus the Beast Titan, but not really the Beast Titan, and also Levi. And Levi flies on the back of Falco. I would be like, yes.
What's the
because like Levi's having trouble.
Oh,
because of the 2 fingers. I mean, he said he could do it.
So I was like, okay, but what's the narrative payoff if that's the route they go? Fucking Annie. Annie's gonna be there. Annie's the person who killed Levi's squad, Petra, everybody. If that's like the momentary forgiveness or pact to be able to work together in order to like fight together versus the orangutan or the orangutan. I like it.
So either Falco and Annie create these like platforms for Levi to fly on and jump off of in order to, help him along, because yes, he said he could do it with 2 fingers, but there might be some challenges. I like it.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Also, we have to have Annie come and be here when her dad is alive. That has to happen.
I agree. I don't know how long we're gonna wait. We talked about rewatching it in dub just for funsies.
Just for fun.
Because I definitely want to. I just don't know if we're gonna do it on the channel.
I definitely want to, because I feel like even though I like to hope that I catch a lot of things and understand a lot of things, I feel like I will still find that there are things to discover upon rewatching it.
And me, who feels like I've gotten nothing and I suck at catching things, feels like, fuck yeah, I want to rewatch it. I want to catch everything I've missed. I have one more question for you, and then we can talk about our answers for it before we close this out. And that question I want to answer at the same time.
Oh, goodness. Okay. I gotta be prepared for this. Okay.
Does Eren die at the end of this series? Answer in 3, 2, 1. Yes. Yeah? I'm extremely confident Eren's gonna die.
At the moment, I'm pretty... At the moment, as Kiyomi said, I have no... Oh, and Hanji, they both have said similar things about other solutions. I don't have another solution in my mind at the moment. Or another ending idea.
I don't know what's gonna come out of it, what's gonna come after it.
Mm-hmm.
But I am extremely confident that Eren's gonna die.
It's where the narrative is pointing at the moment.
And I'm trying to figure out who's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like, my default, of course, is Mikasa, but I don't know if that's, like, too on the nose.
Too, like, Romeo and Juliet. Like, I'm gonna shoulder this with you, and then she kills herself on top of him.
Interesting. You think that that's, like, she would kill herself with him?
She might try. I don't actually think that that's the case at all. It was more of a joke that I was bringing it up. Who would be the most fulfilling character and most satisfying character to be the end bringer for Eren? I think Eren would probably prefer it be either Armin or Mikasa. Maybe more specifically Mikasa, because he asked Mikasa, what was that? How did he phrase it? What am I to you? Or something like that. I think that question puts her in a position to be the one with the job of ending him, if that is the path the narrative is taking.
Okay. I have three thoughts that I've been like, 3 quick points in like very quick succession that I've been thinking about the entire discussion, waiting to get to this point. Number 1, Reiner has a part in killing Eren because there's so much foundation laid and so much comparisons and parallels that even Reiner has acknowledged being the same and feeling the same. Number 2, Armin kills Eren. Colossal Titan, powerful. That's a big part of the story. Armin and Mikasa together could even potentially do
They're like,
it.
Armin, we
being a
can't
part
use
of it.
you. That's why
And
Hanji had to go do it.
The on-the-nose answer that I completely think that, like, Mikasa cuts off Eren's head because it's symbolized throughout the scarf. Like, the whole scarf theme and it being brought up again with Annie talking about it literally leads me to seeing a picture in my head of Annie, like, looking at Mikasa and unknowing, like, without even saying a word, like, agreeing that this needs to happen. The scarf thing makes sense. It's a callback. Cuts off Eren's head.
Yeah, it's like a symbolism of, like, the neck area and the nape of the neck. Oh, it all ties.
And maybe it's a sort of peace or a calm that Mikasa's able to bring. A wrapping, just like Eren gave to Mikasa.
There's something endearing and loving that is involved with, like, wrapping someone in something. Okay, your Reiner, the one you said with Reiner, I think that evidence has been taken away from that within this episode. I think I could have been like, oh yeah, that could be a satisfying path of, is Reiner the one that's supposed to do it? Well, now that everyone else is agreeing they're the same as Reiner and the same as Eren, I'm like, okay, that doesn't have as much ammo anymore. It doesn't have as much, and it doesn't have as much weight, evidence, you know, now that everyone's like, yeah, we're all the same as Eren.
I agree.
Okay, that's what I had to say. Was that your last kind of question point? Okay. I wanted to talk about, I just wanted to end, I guess, or bring up some of the lines of this last stand, this guy, this commander, whatever his name may be, took advantage of the hate. They birthed Eren's hate, basically, hatred marching at them to, like, basically get them back.
I think it's just to reinforce the message of this episode that's been thrown at us again and again, that this is what it's taken to realize where we are and what everybody's responsibilities and what actions people have taken in the past to influence other people.
And it goes, it basically, I think Kiyomi's conversation with Annie on the boat probably sums up how a lot of people are feeling in this episode and the realizations a lot of characters are receiving in this episode.
Do you think it's real? Like, do you think that, like, if this was real life and these humans were our humans, that you'd be able to have that perspective in this moment,
that,
after
like, awareness
that devastation?
In that moment, the clarity.
I think for some characters yes and some no, right? I think that Kiyomi's an interesting case, and like that's more like, okay, yeah. And then just to go along with the theme, and it is also very compelling, this other commander had a very similar sentiment, but has, I don't know, it surprises me more that he even said it.
Well, there's something, I think that it's very realistic what happens here in terms of, like, select people will understand it first and have the ability and the open-mindedness to come to that perspective, and what they will do is enlighten others. And that is what has happened in this episode. At the very end with the family members. The Marley and Eldian family members.
Alrighty.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
I'm scared. I'm scared to end this.
We gotta do it. Yeah. You gotta push the button.
Gotta push the button. I got a haircut the other day. I feel kind of weird about it with my headphones on. I didn't put them on before. I got, like, a bunch of hair cut off. My hair almost went down to my shoulders.
It's kind of sad.
You know I'm weird because I'm, like, talking about myself and shit.
No, it's like you don't know how to end this. You like really don't want to.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.
It doesn't even graze her. It doesn't even graze her. It doesn't even graze her.
It doesn't even graze her.